Now, this is the fly I'm going to be tying. This is just basically what we call a Tippet Octopus. There is a fly called the Octopus, where we use the golden pheasant rump feather, the yellow one. This is the golden pheasant tippet, which has been dyed, believe it or not, been dyed, this one's been dyed fluorescent yellow. It's got the nice orange, it's got a nice blend between the two. Now originally tippet type flies were tied many years ago. These were the tippet hackles, the feathers were used in many a salmon fly. I've tied what was called, I think it was the Tippet King, or there's a few patterns, but the Tippet Grub, which is another very good, or a grub shape, or a grub pattern, sorry. And so it's nothing new, but this is a good wee pattern. They're meant to give the impression of legs, much like if you put pheasant tail legs on. But they're getting more and more popular. But this is one I tied. It's, as I say, it is a variant of a, what they call it, it's the Octopus. Now, hook is a competition heavyweight from Full Mill. It's a size 10. I'm using a Chartreuse thread. This is a nice bright fluorescent colour. It goes with the fly. Now I'm just going to wind down the shank. Just put a layer of thread down. Sometimes I would tie the tail in and the way down, but because I'm putting in two colours, I've really got to make sure they don't rotate around the shank. So you need plenty of grip. The two colours I'm using, I've got, this is the Glo-Brite floss number 5, and number 10 was the other one, this one here. These are the two colours I'm using. So it's number 10 and number 5. Now obviously they're very fine, they're just as fine as thread really. So you've got to put, in this here there's about 10 or so fibres between the two, and then just brushed out using, I use a toothbrush just to brush them together. So we need this for the tail. So I want the fluorescent orange red colour on the top, number 5. What I'm going to do is just tie it on and then quickly pinch the thread up just to secure it. The length of the tail, it could bend from the length of the body to just the back of the hook. It's up to yourself, so I'm in between, so I'll do it there. And you just lightly tap it with your fingers and they should blend together. But once you start fishing them, they'll go together anyway. Now the rib of the fly is an oval gold tinsel. This is tied in the way down, so it's easier just to, this point, keep things a bit tidier by doing that. And then the dubbing. This is a wee blend. This uses what I call honey olive. It's basically just just an olive, a wee touch, a flash through it, and just a wee bit of light bright you can add to it. And it's an actual olive coloured light bright. So we then just take this up for the body. If you haven't got the dubbing blend, just use what you have, SLF or whatever. So work your way up. Give yourself at least maybe 2.5 mil or so from the eye. Now the hackle I'm using is it's just a warm, it's got a golden yellow, this one. It's a golden yellow, very sunbursty, but there's no flash or no fluorescence in this hackle. Just a golden yellow dye from Vineyards used. Just take it away. Hold it with a turn, make sure there's wax on your thread. Tie it in. Now I like a turn at the top at least. And then we just quickly wind down. To get to the back. Now what I'm going to do is just do a turn with the oval tinsel just at the back, the top of the tail really. And then we just work our way up. Rib in the body of the fly. Keep things tight, stroke back any fibres going forward or towards the eye, and bring up the last turn of your rib, or the half turn anyway. Again, make sure this is nice and tight. try and keep it as level as possible and trim that away. Trim away the waste of the hackle. Now the hackle, the tippet, is this one. You can see we've got a nice blend of the orange and yellow in the back. It's really fluorescent, that's where it takes most of the colour. You don't lose this natural colour too much if it's there. So the first thing we're going to do is take away what we don't need. You tie it in by the tip. Get a wee bit of wax on your thread. Nice pace the thread down to wind on. I'm going to wind the hackle. Stroke it back. As I say, these give the impression of the legs, and it's nothing new. It's tippet hackles have been done for, as I say, for a long time. I used to tie a lot of the grubs years ago, and might be a nightmare to tie 30, so you need a lot of feathers, and there's 3 feathers to each fly, so it takes a lot of time. So you get used to doing it. So there you go. That's the tippet hackle on. Now to soften it, what I like to do is this is basically a ginger. It was practically made of badger, and I dyed it this brown olive. So we'll use these up to soften. This helps soften it. Pick a better hackle than that. If you're not happy with the feather you take off, just go back. We tie this in by the tip to get the best of the colour. Now one of the questions I get asked a lot is when, why do you tie, or where do you tie in cock hackles, hen hackles. Now tradition tells you in cock hackles were always tied in near the butt, the thicker part of the hackle. Hens were always tied in by the tip. But depends on the quality of the feathers you have. I'll tie them where the best colour is, where the best, or the ease. If the stem of the hackle is nice and thin near the tip, even the cock hackle, I'll tie it there. Normally the best colour is there too as well. It just depends on the feathers that you're using. Obviously with genetic hackles, they're basically, the feathers are what's on the packet. They'll tell you, I mean, if they're cock hackles, then you tie them as to suit. But when you're working with just basically chicken feathers, they can be all over the place. But as a tyer, you can experiment. I always tie to suit the feather more than anything, and the colour especially. Like here, I want the colour. Even though as a hen hackle, I always tie it normally in by the tip. So, which is wind this down. Totally changes the look of the fly when you add this hackle, and then you tie it off. Just 90-degree bend into the stem. That allows your thread to come into the stem without catching in too many fibres. Now what I'm going to do here is fold it back. Just tidy the head up. Keeping the thread tight, I can break that off. You see what it just blends much better. Now this is an optional thing, you don't have to do this, but I've got split jungle cock here, so I'm going to just get one of try and find one with a reasonable split down the centre, and for some reason I can't find one, so anyway, I've got one. I don't like cutting or splitting jungle cock eyes when I've got a pile of them. I've got this one's split, but it's slightly uneven, so what I'm going to do is just cut the side so they're much the same. There we are. So what I've done is just balance the jungle cock eye so it looks a bit better. Now you can have it coming up into the wing a bit more, or into the fly, not so much the wing, but or you can just have a small eye cheek. Now I like tying on the black area, so we've got the split eye, Just separate it using the hook to do that really. So 2 or 3 turns. There's the eye on. I can fold this back and basically tidy the head area up. Nice and tight. Just want a nice bright head in the waist. So you can bring it out and then I just wiggle it so that it tears the eye and gives you a neat cut rather than cutting it. If I can do that, I will all the time. Now what I'm doing here is I'm basically forming the head with the thread turns there as well. And there we go. Now, a quick blow with the hairdryer and you'll see its shape better and I'll show you what it looks like. So all I'm doing here is just open the fibre out, pulling it underneath just to get it to sit nice, and you'll see there's the nice shape that you get when it's been cast and fished. You'll get this nice open, nice lovely shape and colour. And then all we have to do is a wee bit of varnish on the head, just nice bright head. If you want it really bright, 2 coats. And there we go. Just clean the eye out, and that's your Tippet Octopus. I'm just cleaning the eye. So there you are. That's I mean, I don't know what you're going to call it. I just call it a Tippet Octopus. There's different colours which I've tied over the years, and this is probably one of them most popular, I think. The ones I have tied. I always get asked for this one. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and again, if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.